Sema sasa Jimmy.
So, habari?
Salama, niambie.
Poa sana. We would love to know who are you? Who is this handsome gentleman with us today live at Jimmy Carrick TV?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy, I'm Lennox, naitwa Lennox.
Yes.
Lennox currently ni Mkenya.
Yes.
Niko hapa job nasomesha St. Lawrence University. So in other words, I'm a lecturer.
Yeah, lecturer.
So hapa tuko job.
Yeah.
Tumekuja kutafuta maisha.
True.
Uganda, yes.
Someone else might be asking, for how long have you been in Uganda?
I've been in Uganda for quite a while. I think this could be my 9th to 10th year in Uganda.
My God.
Yeah, so I've been in Uganda. Yeah, 9 to 10.
Hey.
Because I've been in Uganda all the way from, I think it could even beat 9 to 10 because because I came to Uganda actually in 2007. Yeah, so 2007 I came as a student. After being a student, I graduated with all my degrees. After the graduation, I became a lecturer. So it's more than 10. I think it's more than 10. Yeah, it's more than 10.
So basically, you have been in Kenya for 70 years, then Uganda for 10 years.
Actually, in Kenya, I've been now my years in Kenya are almost equals to the years in Uganda.
That's what I'm saying. It means in Kenya you have been there for like 70 years. Now here in Uganda, like
70 hapana. Sijafika 70. Kenya nimekuja Uganda nikiwa around 20 years. Around 20 years. Currently I'm 30 plus years.
You're 30 plus?
Yeah, 30 plus.
So you are born in Kenya?
I was born in Kenya.
You just came to Uganda for further studies,
for further studies. After the further studies, I got a job. So all this time I've been here for that time.
That's good, that's good. So what is this thing that keeps you you want to be so much involved in Uganda than in Kenya? And I believe in Kenya also there are schools. There are some other universities in which you are qualified to teach, but you chose Uganda. Why that?
I want to say that the environment, not really the environment, but I want to say that the hospitable nature of Uganda has become like a home. I've got used to Uganda. Actually, I have more friends in Uganda today than I have in Kenya. I have so many friends. The networks that are around me are all in Uganda. Today, I'm telling the truth, I was in Kenya in January this year. If I'm in Kenya, I've got no friends. Actually, when I'm in Kenya, it's like Kenya is a foreign land to me. Uganda has been so hospitable. I have very many friends in Uganda. When it comes to job, I can get any job I want in Uganda. And in Kenya, if I go to Kenya today, I'm totally a new person. I have started new connections, new friends, and everything new. I don't want to say that it's because I'm not really qualified to lecture in Kenya. I'm qualified to do any job in Kenya. But today with jobs and all that, there's what we call the social capital. Social capital is very important. I don't have as much social capital as I have it in Uganda. So the social capital, the channels, yes, or rather the connections and the networks and all that. So I really don't have as much as I do have in Kampala. Yeah, so in Kampala, I really have a lot of people that can always come to my rescue as compared to Kenya. So Kenya is home, yes, but Uganda is home away from home.
So, there's someone who might be thinking life here in Uganda for you lecturers is so much cheap and easier, or there's a smooth life when it comes to lecturing students and teaching. So, what are some of the challenges that you guys are facing as lecturers in university? In universities,
one of the challenges we face in lecturers, I say that this could be general because I see this happening even in Kenya, is about late payment of our arrears, or rather the salaries. You find that in most cases we do work, and our employers, or rather our bosses, really take their time to clear their arrears, or rather to clear our salary arrears. So that is a major challenge. Someone who denies you what you work for, or someone who delays paying you, is really hurting you, because you really find out that the more someone delays with what should get, the more you get hurt, because we pay rent every month, We pay school fees every month. We eat daily. We do a lot of things that need cash every day. So the moment someone delays with your money, someone is really hurting you financially. So that is one problem that we do have. Another challenge that we do have is all about, like, for example, people like us who are foreigners. I really want to say we are not really foreigners, because now we are in East Africa. Have the room for visa free. We can process our visa and we can process our work permits for free. But you find that there's a lot of procedure, there's a long process of getting the visa, say, or rather the work permit. So that is also a challenge to me personally and other foreigners or other East Africans within Uganda. It is very free, which is very fine, but there's a lot of process. The process it takes, you incur a lot of transport, going to offices and all that. So that is also another challenge. If there could be room for governments to have intergovernmental coordination so that these things can be streamlined, or we can just apply online and you be there seated waiting for your work permit to come out. So all these processes are really challenges. Another challenge that I can talk of as lecturers that we do face is the challenge of the. I want to say that it's not really a challenge, but it's also a challenge. We find that the pressures from the government and the National Council, we have a lot of changes coming up each and every time that we always have to adapt to it. You adapt to this change, another change comes. You adapt to this, another one comes. So you find that we live in a world it's a dynamic world where each and every time we do have new things coming, and you really have to train yourself to learn, to adapt to the new changes each and every time. So those are the challenges.
Those are some of the challenges.
Yeah.
So talking about the challenges, there are also some benefits. Someone might say in Kenya, maybe they receive less salary than those people who are lecturing here in Uganda. So do you think there's a differentiation when it comes to down payment, salary basic, or something like that?
I want to say that, yeah, you find that Kenya is a better economy compared to Uganda, and with that you'll always find that the wages and the salaries in Kenya are a bit favorable, yeah, compared to Kenya. Then another thing is that when you talk of the exchange rate differences, you get that when anyone earning in Ugandan shillings will always have an exchange rate disadvantage. So what we do have is the exchange rate disadvantage, because you find that the Kenyan shillings is a bit heavier, or rather weighs more weight compared to the Ugandan shillings. So when you're earning in Ugandan shillings and you change it to Kenyan shillings, because as Kenyans we always want to go and reinvest at home.
Yeah.
So when you want to reinvest at home, we reinvest the money that we've earned in Ugandan shilling. Then you have to change it to Kenyan shilling for you to reinvest the other side. You find that you're disadvantaged because the currency you have has a lower value. But I want to believe that East Africa is headed to a one monetary system. One day, if we can get to be paid in one uniform monetary system, then we may be at par with our Kenyan counterparts. Yeah, but I really want to say that it's a challenge, yes. We have that. So I want to say that lecturing in Kenya currently, as I speak, would be a bit better, or would be a bit of an advantage compared to lecturing in Uganda. But we also have other options, because you find that in lecturing it is a bit flexible. The flexibility being of is that in lecturing you can always do what we call the part-timing. We do part-time in quite a number of universities. So you find that if you collectively unite, or rather bring together all your earnings per month, you may find yourself matching what they do pay people in Kenya. But I know in Kenya they also may be doing the same, but I tend to think that Uganda is more flexible compared to Kenya. I think the employers in Kenya, they may be a bit strict compared to the employers in Uganda, because you find that the employers in Kenya really tend to follow so much about their employees. But here we really have that that thing to moonlight. Actually, they call it moonlighting. Moonlighting is where you look for different options of earnings, and you get them here.
Yeah. Okay. So far, you have lectured in Makerere,
Yes, I've lectured Makerere, that is in Business Institute. I've lectured in Bugema University.
Bugema University.
I've lectured in St. Lawrence University. I've lectured in International University of East Africa. Yeah, and currently, or rather in August, I'll be lecturing at Team University.
Team University.
Yeah,
how do you get to connect all those institutions at once? How do you manage? How do you keep your time?
It's all about balancing and making a schedule that fits. You know, in lecturing, we are not officers that we really have to go and sit somewhere in the office. No, we don't do that. In lecturing, you just get to know your timetable. I get to know that in Bugema, I have a class on Monday from 11 to 2. You rush to Monday, you rush to Bugema, 11 to 2, you're done with Bugema. From 2 to 3, you're moving to another campus. That means you already have a class at 3 in another campus, 3 to maybe 4 or 5. You within 1 hour, you have left Bugema and have reached Mutesa or have reached St. Lawrence. I'm already teaching at St. Lawrence at 3. So you find that it's all about scheduling yourself and making sure that you master your timetable, that you know that in the morning I'm at Bugema, after lunch I'm at St. Lawrence, after that time I'm at Team. So simple, so simple. We have no offices where you'll say, this is my office, I have to permanently sit in this office. No, that is not what we do. In lecturing, go to class, come out of class, go do something else. If there's an office work, that is admin. We have administrators in offices. They do that. It is not the work
just
of lecturer. Yeah. You just get in touch with the admin to help you in administrative duties. We have got the secretaries, we got people who help us in administrative roles. So that is not what we do.
Yeah. So someone in Kenya who is who intends to come and teach in Uganda, what advice would you give them? Should they find the place interesting or something, what advice would you give someone who is standing to after they have pursued their career to come here in Uganda to teach or to look for something to lecture students?
Oh, I can say that they are coming to the Pearl of Africa.
They're coming to the Pearl of Africa.
Yeah, they're coming to the Pearl of Africa. You know, Uganda is the Pearl of Africa. So with that alone, I want to say that they're coming to the best place to be ever. Uganda is one of the best places to be.
And you're just reminding me, why do they say Uganda is the Pearl of Africa, brother?
Uganda is the Pearl of Africa because...
Why not Kenya? And Kenya, we say economy is higher than... the economy of Kenya
the name Pearl of Africa didn't come on economy. The name Pearl of Africa, I think it must have come. Was it? I think that name was one of the members of the royal family. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not very sure. But I think one of the members of the royal family of UK mentioned it, that this is the Pearl of Africa. The Pearl of Africa came when this person came and looked at Uganda, the environment, the wildlife, the natural resources, and everything that the person saw almost everything that they expect to see in Africa within Uganda. So that is when they said, no, this must be the Pearl. This is where Africa is. The entire Africa is collected in Uganda. So that is the thing. So it was a good compliment to Uganda. Yeah. And it keeps moving, you see. It has really branded. It's a good brand to Uganda.
Yeah, true. Like now we are standing here, you can't say it's a town. Actually, in Kampala, you can see greens everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah, greens everywhere.
Are there greens in Kenya like Nairobi? Can you find three?
Nairobi is also a good one because we have one part of Nairobi is the savannah. They call it savannah. I'm not very sure, but you find that Nairobi has a very big part that has a lot of trees. Nairobi is also very green. Yeah, Nairobi is also very green. But you find that the only difference between Nairobi and Uganda is that Uganda, most parts of Uganda are green. But you find that in Kenya, Nairobi may be green, yes, but you find that there are some parts that are extremely dry. But you find that the biggest percentage of Ugandan land is within the equator and they receive very frequent rainfalls. The environment is so cool. And so that is something so good with Uganda. Uganda is a bit better as far as the environment is concerned.
So it must, when you compare Kenya and Ugandan environment, you believe this one is super.
Uganda is better. Uganda is better. When you talk of the environment, Uganda is far much better. Yeah, Uganda is cool. The environment is cool. There's no extreme heat as it is in Kenya. You know, in Kenya, yes, Kenya is also within the equator, but you find that the extreme heat that you can find in some parts of Kenya is not here in Uganda. There's some moderate, whatever, balanced with sun, balanced with the rain and all that. So Uganda is a bit balanced compared to
You've been meeting a lot of Sudanese.
Yeah.
I in most of the institutes that you go, you have been in meeting Sudanese, Eritreans, like a mixture of
cultures
countries and cultures, right?
Yeah.
So, but people saying that you look like a Sudanese. Can you please clarify to them on the camera there? You're not a Sudanese. They're asking me.
No, I'm one of them. I always tell them I'm one of them because
that this man, you know, they believe.
I think I can say that I'm a Kenyan by birth, but a Sudanese by
and
origin.
I'm speaking to millions, and speaking on behalf of millions when I say that you guys are Sudanese, aren't you?
No, what I know, I'm a Sudanese by origin. I'm a Sudanese by origin, and a Kenyan by birth. Because when you go to the history books of history, Luos came from a place called Bargazal in South Sudan. Bargazal, South Sudan, is the land where all the Luos came. You know, when they were coming from South Sudan, they came through Uganda. Some people, as soon as they reached Uganda, some left to Tanzania and some went to Kenya. So we are the bit of Luos that went to Kenya during migration.
Because they're saying that you are even taller than. What is your age?
I'm 6.4.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm 6.
Oh my God. You're more.
So I'm a Sudanese actually.
You're Sudanese.
By origin, by birth, I'm a Kenyan. Yeah. I'm a Sudanese from Bargazal.
So how does the economy of Uganda affect you as lecturers? Because there's someone complains that the economy is not good. People are saying things are rising.
It does. You know.
So how are you affected?
We are affected in the angle of the, inflation. Inflation is the general increase in the price of goods and commodities and services. So you find that the economy is affecting us in a way that when the goods and prices of goods are going up, we always expect that, when prices are going up, maybe the salaries should also go up. But this is a case whereby the prices are continuously going up, but the salaries...
The graph is going up for
the prices. Prices are going up, but the salary remains constant. So you find that the economy is trying to kick us out, We really need to exist. But, the existence is becoming very hard. Rather, the survival is becoming very hard, because prices are high, but there's no addition in the salary, or prices are high, but you don't get any other additional income. So you find that it's very hard to cope up with such an economy. So I try to say that we're affected by that. It has really affected us. It has affected our pockets, it has affected our families, our investment plans, and a lot of plans that we do have. So we are really affected by the economy.
Yeah. We hope that things will stabilize, because everybody's affected. But we're hoping that
we drive. I used to put 1 liter of fuel. I used to fuel at 3,000. You get? Right now, I fuel 1 liter at 5,000. You see?
God, yeah.
That's almost double.
Initially it was how much?
Initially it was 3,000.
3,000 a liter.
It's 5,000. Yeah.
The 2,000 difference.
2,000.
That's a lot of money.
That's almost 80% increase.
Yeah.
So you find that we are really affected, and regardless of all that, the salary remained as it was. The same salary I was earning when I was driving a liter at 3,000 is the same salary I'm earning right now as I drive a liter at 5,000. So you find that to some extent we are really...
So I would love to give you a chance, because we are live in Jimmy Karek TV.
Yes.
And there are millions of people watching you. So on behalf of millions of lecturers in Uganda. What would you like to tell the government of Uganda, the president of Museveni, considering how you're affected by the prices change and deflation and inflation of the economy? What would you love to talk about? Like, what you want to express yourself there on behalf of millions of lecturers? Would you love to talk to those concerned about your salary increasement and the economy and how it's stabilize the economy? Please, you have the platform.
Thank you. I want to say that to the lecturers, I want to commend them for the good job that they've always done.
Yeah.
I want to say that this is a group of people that have really tried to do their best, regardless of the economic conditions and situations. Lecturers, your work has always been, I think it's the hand of God that is holding lecturers, because lecturers have really gone through a lot. Because I remember by the time that we had the lockdown for COVID, lecturers really persevered and we really worked. We did without pay.
But how did you go about the situation about COVID? Because it's just a year ago.
COVID time, yeah. It was a really hard time for us, because that is the time that even our employers decided to withdraw and say, you know, there's no more pay. So I think it was just God. It was God. I am a believer. I think it's God, because that is the time that lecturers really had to go back to the gardens. I think that was the time to give up.
Yeah,
but we really didn't give up. I think God just stayed with us. You really can't commit suicide, because that is the worst. But I really think and actually some might have thought of that option as well. Yeah? But I think
because remember, some of you guys, some people, they take loans.
They take. And that's the time that the banks came and took cars and people's houses and all that. So it was really the toughest time of our life. Actually, the toughest time of our career. Yeah. So for me, I want to say that lecturers, you're the best people ever. Your work is really commended, and you've always really been the blessings that students have in their lives. Number two, I want to say that the government has also really intervened to help us in some circumstances. But I really want to say that enough has not been done. The support towards the lecturers has not really been done, because number one, lecturers need to be advocated for. Number one, I want to say that right from the public institutions and private institutions, we should always have a uniform range for salaries, because this is a case whereby you find that quality seems to be compromised in some institutions. Why? Because this is a place whereby you find a private university somewhere is paying their lecturers 1 million. But the same lecturer teaching that very course with the same qualification in a public university is paid 5 million, 6 million. So you look at the difference.
So which one is the private?
You find that public institutions pay so well, but the private institutions don't really pay well.
You're working under which category?
I'm in private.
Why can't you go higher?
To the public?
Yeah.
Public, it is, the possibilities are there, but number one challenge that I have, I'm a Kenyan.
Sure, okay.
I don't want to say that that's a challenge, but I say that it's also a bit tricky, but I know it's my target. I'll reach there.
Yeah, because Africa, we are one.
We are one. I'll reach there one day. But what I know is that it really takes some little energy to make it there, but I think I will. So you find that when you want to pay me 1 million, but my counterpart in a public institution is paid 6 million for the same job with the same qualification, you find that we compromise quality. The moment you compromise paying people, you're also compromising quality. So I think the government should come up, the National Council, I think we have what we call the National Council of the Higher Education. That is the monitoring body for all institutions of higher learning. The National Council should come out and come up with policies that protect both public and private institutions, where lecturers are fairly treated with the uniformity. They should not think that the lecturers in public are so special or lecturers in private are so special. Lecturers have got equal qualifications, and they should be treated as equal beings. So the National Council, I call upon them to try and bring out something that can really make us work and see ourselves as equals from all sectors, both public and the private sector. So that will really be a good intervention from the government. If government can really come up with that, then I think they shall have really done us a great deal. Yeah, I think that is it.
Yeah, so all the bodies concerned about the affairs of the lecturers, Mr. Lennox himself, on behalf of millions of them, he has spoken out. Please, I know you're going to see this, you're going to watch this. Kindly listen to their cries and intervene
Thank you.
to their aids and listen to them.
Yeah, that is.
They are helping our children, you know, like because we without you, we can't be nowhere, we can't be anyone, you know.
Sure, that is.
So I think government should first consider the teachers, and he has spoken. He has spoken. We have nothing else to say. But thanks for coming. Thanks for joining the show.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks so much.
Jimmy.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's been great meeting you.
It's been nice to see you.
It's been
and
nice
I'll invite you for the next show.
Thank you.
Please come and now we're going to speak about your height.
Yeah, I know. Alright. We shall start with that next time.
Yeah, the next content is about his height.
All right.
Did you see the height? Did you see that difference?
I think the next time we're here, we shall start on that. Sawa.
Thank
Thank you, Jimmy.